me.
Do you have kind of a humming in the back, or is that just me?
A little bit, but I can't hear it because of aha. Alright, we'll hang around for the bridge.
Christina, you're in the shot. I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
Today on Cronkite Sports Live, we preview the biggest game of lacrosse to take place in Arizona since, well, maybe ever.
Spring football continues on. We'll take a look at the defense and one player in particular. That's Edmund Boateng.
And we like to try to do new things here, so we had a crew take it to the street and see what Sun Devil diehards had to say. Welcome to this edition of Cronkite Sports Live. Brett Deckert on your screen, alongside me, as always, Jason Chesler. And in front of us awaits a great show. Spring football is still football, and it's spring, so football. A member of the softball team could be going pro, and, well, we'll even talk about water polo on today's show.
And as always, we'll answer your most pressing questions, like, Brett, if Herb Sendek's letter is published rather than mailed, why is it still a letter?
However, today we start where we seldom have before. Today we lead with a club sport because there are probably too many people who, when they hear the acronym MCLA, think what will follow is a reference to noted surgeon Dr. James Andrews. No, we're talking the Men's Collegiate Lacrosse Association, and more specifically, the Southwest Lacrosse Conference, which in 22 hours will be put on show when number 1 Grand Canyon and number 3 Arizona State go at it in Phoenix. For those who don't consider themselves lacrosse fans, take it from me, someone who has been on multiple game calls for both of these teams. If you like sports and everything that makes sports great, watch this game. Now, that's quite a build-up, but for that, we've brought in Troy Lynch to back it up. Troy, what about these two teams makes that a real consideration that this is a game that sports fans should watch?
Well, it's not just because they're neighboring schools. It's not just because it's number 1 versus number 3. It's because they're two of the best teams in the MCLA going at it, and there are 4 specific players who make that happen. For ASU, it's Dan Davis and Cooper Backel. And then for GCU, it is Carson Barton and Dean Farrell. Good stat to look at, 25 assists for both Barton and Farrell. Insane. That's why GCU is so good offensively. Then if you take a look at Carson Barton's stats, he has more points than Dan Davis and Cooper Backel combined. So GCU, definitely the best offense in the league right now, and they're showing it, and that's why they're number 1.
Yeah, they're showing it because it's more than just Barton and Farrell. There's 8 other guys on this team that can score. It's unprecedented in the MCLA, the type of attack that they throw out on the field.
I mean, if it's not Barton, it's Dean Farrell. If it's not Dean Farrell, it's Drew Zadek. If it's not him, there's 6 other guys who all have more than 10+ points. But GCU, why are they so good, you ask? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. Here's a clip from the Texas game just a few weeks ago. And then you have Drew Zadek. He's coming in from the far side of the crease. And then he is going to pass it off to Dean Farrell, who's at the top of the key. He's got Carson Barton right next to him. Basic triangle formation. That's what you want in lacrosse. And then Dean Farrell is going to catch it right there. There he is. And then you got 4 Longhorn defenders going to crash, and they're going to go try to stop Dean Farrell. But what does that do? It leaves Carson Barton wide open, nobody in front of him, just him and the goalie. And what is he going to do? He is going to score easily, and he gets to walk away all cool and stuff. And that's why GCU, best offense in the league.
Yeah, you watch how quickly Carson Barton uses the space he has to fire away a shot. The slide was there, but he's too quick. The ASU defense, they're obviously going to have to be there and be faster than Carson Barton is tomorrow.
ASU, it's been a journey for them defensively. I mean, they let up a little more than 7.5 goals per game, but they've been solid, but at the same time, they can be fragile. So let's go back a few games against the same team, Texas, where we have Marshall Allen coming up. And then Dallin Hammond, that's the guy I highlighted. He makes one wrong move to the left, leaving McCabe wide open for a split second. Mac Regan and Zach Mathian both are going to be too late to get there. And then McCabe with the quick stick goal. And then Longhorns go up against the number 2 team in the nation. Sun Devils, I mean, it's been a ride, but I mean, if they can try to stay consistent against GCU, that's their only hope right now, or else I see GCU just running away with it.
With an offense like that, it'll be interesting to see how the Sun Devil defense will prepare. Now, Troy Lynch has got to prepare himself. We've got to rush you out of here. Got to get to the field actually tonight. You're going to camp out in a tent to get ready for the elements that'll be out there in Phoenix tomorrow at Grand Canyon University. Jason Chesler's in the elements, the other side of the desk, I mean. He's got baseball for you.
Very cold on this side of the desk, and that's right, Brett. Let's go from the sticks to the bats. ASU baseball, they're rolling of late, taking on the New Mexico State Aggies earlier this week. We've got the highlights coming up right for you. Start things off in the bottom of the first. It's shortstop Cody Woodmansey. I call him Woodman. Some people call him Man-Man, Woodman, Woodmansey, whatever you want. It's a baseball nickname. They're easy. He hits a 2-run homer. Obviously, that's exactly what you're looking for to start off the game. They take a 2-0 lead. We'll jump forward to the bottom of the 6th. Woodmansey, he's found his power this year. Right fielder Trevor Allen, we've known he's had power for a long time. He hits this one deep to right field. That's more than deep. It is God. 3-run homer. ASU takes a 6 off the big swing of the guy who came out to The Man by Aloe Black last season. Definitely one of the best walk-up songs in baseball. Top of the ninth, it's Eder Arrives. He's out to close out the game. He gets a high but shallow fly ball. They call that a pop-out. ASU wins 7-3. Big-time performance, and hey, it continued into last night. Arizona State starting off their series with the Utah Utes. 5-3, the Sun Devils win, but they needed some extra innings to take care of it. They win in 12. But if you're a baseball fan out there, you'll look at that as free baseball. If you're Andrew Chapman, our WCSM baseball analyst / Pac-12 ASU baseball play-by-play guy, you look at that as a trend. The Sun Devils with 9 wins in 1-run games this year, a number of big-time walk-offs that we've seen on this show time and time again. Andrew, how are they doing it?
Well, you know what? It's been a heck of a season, Jason, for the Sun Devils, and it might be maybe a little bit of luck first year at Phoenix Municipal Stadium, but the Sun Devils are winning these games because of talent and attitude. You can have a guy like Chris Beal, a junior, come off the bench after struggling in the bottom of the 9th inning with 2 outs, have him pinch hit, and he gets a walk-off hit to win the game. Then you can have a freshman, like we saw last night, Andrew Snow, hit a 2-run home run in the top of the 12th inning. He's hitting at the bottom of the lineup, and he wins the game for the Sun Devils. So 1 through 9, the lineup is deadly at any point. You take that clutch hitting and you combine it with some shutdown pitching like we've seen from Darren Gillies out of the bullpen. Ryan Burr already 10 saves, completely shut down. He gets his job done every time. You have a formula for success in that way. And overall, the attitude of the team is, if you talk to any of them in the dugout, if they're down 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th, it's not are we going to win this game, it's we're going to win this game. And we actually have a little clip of head coach Tracy Smith talking exactly about that concept.
Hey, we got business to take care of tonight. Let's take care of that, and then we'll worry about the weekend. So I think we're taking strides in that we're not playing the opponent. We're taking care of Arizona State baseball.
So that right there, the reason why they've been able to come back 5 different times after trailing in the 6th inning. They've also been down by more than 3 runs before the 3rd inning, and they come back from that 5 different times. Just the mindset and the talent on the team is incredible this year. Head coach Tracy Smith doing a good job. The team is made for wins.
So great mindset has led to great results for the Sun Devils. But Andrew, it seems like we could be really close to a very different season with all these close ball games. Just how close are the Devs to, I don't know, falling out of the top 10 with just a few one-run differences throughout the year?
It is a really close call in some of these games. It could be a completely different season. Number 6 right now, but I went over and looked at 4 different games that I think really could have made the difference in ASU's season, and they have. Start off with that TCU game earlier in the year. They were the #1 team in the country. ASU beats them 7-6. That was the first time the Sun Devils showed they can compete with some of the best talent in the country. The Oregon State win, 4-3 walk-off win. Brian Servin won that one. That was in Game 2. Huge win because the Sun Devils dropped Game 1. They go on to win Game 3 and win the series. A win against Oregon, 7-6. That was another extra inning win. And then also the win against Stanford in Game 1. That's huge because they go on to sweep that series. You got to remember, college baseball doesn't have the luxury of a 162-game season like they do in Major League Baseball. Every series is important. Every sweep you can get is huge because you want to be able to get that at-large bid for the regional tournament if you can't win the conference tournament. ASU's pushing for that conference tournament championship right now, but those wins right there is the difference between an 8-2 season and a 5-5 Pac-12 season, and not being number 6 in the country, that's for sure.
So, Andrew, it's all about series. Give me a one-word answer. Sweep or no? Finish out this weekend set?
Break out the broomsticks. I like the sweep.
Sweep. It wasn't one word, but you get credit anyways. Hold them accountable. Check the games later. We'll have the schedule coming up in a later segment. Now from the diamond to the diamond, actually. Here's Brett Deckert with softball.
If you ever have about 8 hours to kill, go ahead and meander your way through the biography page that lists the awards and accomplishments of Sun Devil softball stud senior Amber Freeman. It's a novel and a half. The byline clearly says by Leo Tolstoy. Luckily, as of Wednesday, Leo has written us more. Freeman was selected 11th overall in the National Pro Fast Pitch Draft, becoming the sixth such Sun Devil in program history to do so. The NCAA was impressed with Freeman's dominance, so they thought about throwing her and her teammates a little pizza party. But instead, they gave him a full week off. Boy, oh boy. So sitting at 24-11 with 7 days of rest in hand, the Sun Devils are coming off a series win in Tucson, which is the 3rd time that's happened since 1982. the ladies will get back into that ball-playing spirit on Monday, and they better like it because they got 4 games in 2 days. That's right, it's like a Sunday in 1965. Scheduled double headers. Let's bring them back. The first 2 on Monday, I should say, against New Mexico State on the road, and then they travel to Texas El Paso for 2 more. So a lot of games, but also quite a bit of travel for the Sun Devils on Monday and Tuesday.
Shifting gears here, yesterday, former ASU basketball head coach Herb Sendek released his thoughts on his firing in a letter published by AZ Central Sports. In the letter, Sendek thanks Arizona State for his time with the Sun Devils and emphasizes the pride he felt at seeing his players succeed on and off the court. In terms of recruiting, Sendek said, quote, "I would ask that you don't let your disappointment in me take away from or be a reflection on the talent of the young men that are currently on my team." Now, Sendek closed the letter saying, quote, "Thank you to those who helped me build a community during my time here. It is my hope that you will continue your efforts to build the depth and breadth of that community support and help your next coach reach the expectations we all have for this program. Thank you, and go Devils." A really classy conclusion to what was at times an ugly saga of the Herb Sendek era of Sun Devil basketball.
Yeah, and what's really surprising to me that there's even ugly responses to him simply writing a letter like that. Most people wouldn't write anything. Isn't the effort, regardless of what you want to look into it and speculate if it's not it's not a real apology? He put the words out there.
It was a thoughtful thing to do. You can criticize the coach, but I don't think we should be hyper-analyzing this letter.
Yeah.
You know what we should be hyper-analyzing, Brett? ASU athletes' social media. Thankfully, we have just the man to do it, to take a look at the tweets, to analyze the social media. Cameron Neely, bring it in. It's our Tweets of the Week.
Hello to you two red-blooded and red-haired American males. Jason, I'm very, very happy that you brought up analysis, because that's what we're doing today. We're not looking for the comedy. Twitter superstars are made from being quick-witted and being on their feet and educated in pop culture. So that's what we're doing today. People who are quick-witted, on their feet, and ready to throw any of the Twitter sphere at other people. So, Joey, let's go ahead, and we have this first tweet on the screen. You can see here, Tracy Smith just tweeting a W. Why? His team just won 6-3. But my question to you guys is, the ASU Sun Devils had beaten a Stanford team that's now 0-7 in the Pac-12. Is this W even warranted?
Yeah, to win a game. I think you're playing NCAA D1 competition. He's coaching these guys, and they're on the field they can't. Because after the game, if you don't treat it like it was a big win, that means before the game, the next time you play Stanford, what are they going to be play for? You know,
he has 139 more characters to go, Jason.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Cam. He didn't treat it like a big deal. He just used one character. If he used all 140, if he maxed out and went to Twit longer or any of those services, that would be too much. But just one character, hey, it's fine, man. He's being conservative. He's taking it easy.
He's trying to go less is more, is what I'm thinking, and I'm seeing through the veneer, Tracy Smith.
Oh, wow.
I see what you're doing.
We're being very critical today. I like it.
This is very true. Next tweet, Joey. And as we zoom out, you can see here, we're going with a conversation. Mike Vercovici, you can see on the screen here, he's tweeting a picture of him talking to youth, and he's saying, hey, hashtag ASU youth. That's how us Sun Devils roll. Gary Chambers comes in and throws him the straight face emoji, saying, "There's 6, Burko. You were talking about the professors." And then Burko, quick-wittedly again, hits him with the Kermit frog emoji. That's none of my business. I knew that when I was 6. Here we have an interaction. Burkle was come at hard by his teammate, but he came with the Kermit emoji, which is always a decent response. So what do you guys think?
Why is that a decent response?
I'm not a fan of Kermit emoji.
I'm sorry. Why?
Explain yourself. Explain yourself right now. One of you two. Why not the Kermit emoji?
It's overdone.
Exactly.
As a meme. Let it go to bed. Let it rest.
Any meme that becomes someone's like go-to, no, you're stealing it from other people, and maybe at first, or maybe like 2 years down the line when you have good timing, you can make the right joke that's past its due, but not like.
With all this being said, Mike Bercovici said it. If Burko says it, I agree with it. Good job, Burko.
True.
Proud of you.
Go Burko. I love when people use frog emojis and all that stuff. That's great.
Professors.
You just said you didn't like frog emojis.
Burko, baby.
Oh my goodness. Next tweet. Here we are again. So as you guys were just talking about, Amber Freeman got drafted, USSA Pride. It's in Florida, you guys. So somebody tweets at her, draft day, A. Freeman. Very quickly, you guys. What is she referencing? Quickly.
Draft day, Johnny Manziel.
Oh my goodness. Yes, you're very close. She is referencing Drake's draft day.
I knew it was a song.
Yeah.
It's Drizzy Drake. I don't listen to that much Drake.
Oh my goodness.
She probably had to ask for the code for the Wi-Fi so she could tweet.
That's far and few.
I get it.
This didn't go as you
What
planned.
do you guys think about the fact that somebody tweets at her, draft day A. Freeman instead of Johnny Manziel.
That's cool.
Good.
That's what she deserves. That's
Yeah.
what these references in hip hop, Cam, hip hop
Yeah.
builds on itself. People are still using lyrics that Tupac came up with, that Biggie came up with, that Jay-Z came up with when he was still relevant. Like, people are still using those lyrics. They can modify it, make it about, wait, this is Andrew Wiggins.
Yes, again.
That's an Amber Freeman.
Yes, that shows me that you guys are not well versed in hip hop because A. Wiggins is the second part of that song. Johnny
Okay.
Manziel, A. Wiggins.
Well, he's Canadian, so it makes sense.
You know what Drake says? You better come with it like a potluck. And I don't know if you guys did that.
He's
today.
Canadian. It makes sense.
You know, next time we'll just have like Cam's own segment where he can play music, show us lyrics.
We're gonna move the show to
Yeah.
Toronto because we're not cool enough.
What
for
I think
Cam
this
here.
has become is just, and I'm fine with it, but
He's
it's
from the
this is a trip into Cam Neely's brain.
I
You
like it, yeah.
He finds tweets that relate to like what he wants to talk about, but I like it.
We're running through Cam's brain with our woes.
Very, very good. That is a fantastic place to stop.
That is awesome.
There we have it. So we're through tweets.
Yeah.
It's pretty deep in the show. This is kind of the home stretch. We start feeling pretty good. And some of you may have realized that, well, we haven't talked about football yet. Take some deep breaths. It's okay. There's no reason to be alarmed. Zach Pocklub is here to save the day with a look at the ASU defense, including just one player to keep an eye on as the Devs move forward in spring camp. Zach?
The Arizona State football team has been hard at work since spring practices began in mid-March. Expectations are high in Tempe with several key players returning, including 9 of 11 starters on defense. However, with the graduation of defensive lineman Marcus Hardison, Todd Graham is searching for a replacement at that position. This spring, that guy has been Edmund Boateng.
This is my time to shine. I've been put in this role, and I really got to fulfill what they're expecting of me.
In 2014, Hardison led the team in sacks and tackles for loss. After splitting time between almost every position on the defensive line, Boateng is ready to make his mark on the end.
Graham said it himself, I don't want to put myself on a certain pedestal, but he said there's speed there, and Marcus had tremendous speed, so I'm just trying to push that speed to a next level. He's played every down in some games, and I know I can do that. So we're very similar in some ways, but maybe speed might be that difference.
After back-to-back 10-win seasons, Boateng and the Sun Devils are preparing to make that next step into becoming one of the top teams in the country.
Previous years when I was here, it was just kind of going with the flow, and now it's about breaking that, going against the grain, and doing stuff that not a lot of people would do.
Boateng has been a player that has shown some of the most improvement this spring, according to Coach Todd Graham. He'll be able to show that progress on April 10th as ASU hosts its annual spring football game. Reporting from Tempe, Arizona, I'm Zach Pocklub, WCSN.
And now some words about the one sport 99% of us absolutely could not play a casual game of pickup of without months of prior training. The sport of reference, of course, water polo. The number 8 Sun Devils are 16-6 overall, 2-2 in conference after splitting last weekend's action. A loss to number 2 Stanford was not much of a shock. Neither was the 14-2 win over Hardwick. Tomorrow, ASU goes for its 17th win, but it'll have to come against some steeper competition. The number 1 Bruins from UCLA, the top-ranked team in the country, come into Tempe. They play 1 p.m. on Pac-12 Digital. That means online. And our very own Cole Feinblum will be on the call. Watch it. You never know. You might see some history or just a simple upset.
Now here on CSL, we can be very critical of decisions, players, coaches. Sorry, Herb. And hey, today me and Brett have been criticized heavily too. However, you, the fan, the ASU sports fan, you've remained safe from our wrath until today. We sent 2 of our reporters, Nick Wixman and Troy Lynch, of lacrosse fame actually, out to ask completely real people, completely made up questions about ASU sports because, we're kind of mean, we're kind of cruel, we're kind of unusual. Enjoy the very first edition of a segment that's sure to be all of those things. Here's Street and Greet.
Nick Wixman here.
Troy Lynch.
We're on Mill Avenue. We're going to ask some people about March Madness, the Final Four happening this weekend. We'll see how it goes.
Let's go.
What do you think?
No, he did not.
Why don't you believe me?
That's so horrible.
He just got fired a week ago. What happened, Jeff? He had a tough one.
That's a good decision.
Does football get more girls than basketball?
Yes.
Then yes.
They better get out there and support their school. The Final Four.
Do you think that's accurate?
No. I'm sorry. It's not though.
How dare you?
It's not though.
Herb Sendek, recently fired from ASU, yeah? No. No? No. All right, well, that is for sure true. You heard it here. Curtain of Destruction is apparently not going to do anything this weekend, but we'll see how that plays out. Thank you.
Last night on Mill, thank you, Nick and Troy. Well, in 2 years as ASU Vice President for Athletics, Ray Anderson has made 5 coaching changes. The most recent came this past Tuesday when swimming head coach Dorsey Tierney Walker was fired with 1 year left on her contract. She spent 6 years at ASU, serving as both the coach of the men's and women's programs for the entirety of her stint. Both teams finished near the bottom of the Pac-12 each year under Tierney Walker. The decision came as yet another indication that Anderson is acting swiftly to fulfill his mission to lift all Arizona State sports to another level. In a statement announcing the firing, Anderson said the university expects the program to compete for individual, conference, and national titles and produce All-Americans and Olympians, something it hasn't done in quite some time.
Speaking of All-Americans, we've got one better at Sun Devil Golf, but they're playing host to the ASU Thunderbird Invitational this weekend. It's a perfect time for the Sun Devil faithful to celebrate the success of their team. So ASU, they've moved up to second in the GolfStat national rankings, and John Rahm, the aforementioned hinted-at player, he's the reigning Thunderbird Invitational winner, I beg your pardon. He was just named the #1 amateur player in the entire world, the planet. ASU could make it 5 tournament wins if they take home the W this weekend, a number they haven't reached since, well, a national championship season, 95-96. That was their second national championship. We've got an update for you from Karsten Golf Course in Tempe. We're through 1 round in the Thunderbird Invitational. ASU leads the pack of 14 teams. They're at 3 under, while Baylor, they sit in second at 1 under. The aforementioned #1 player in the world for amateurs, John Rahm, he sits at 5 under. And again, the 36-hole round is currently going on. We've got it tomorrow as well. Get out to Karsten, probably bright and early. It's golf. They play early.
Yeah, that's going on right now. Plenty more going on this weekend, as we told you throughout the show. Tonight, baseball. Of course, there's more tomorrow. With the real info on that, we're going to send it over to Michael Barron and our weekend forecast.
Thanks, guys, and a happy Passover. Interesting week of action coming up tonight. Baseball at Utah, 5 o'clock p.m. on the Pac-12 networks. Tomorrow, be on your A game. First, there's women's tennis at noon on Pac-12 Digital, and then you're going to have to make some tough decisions. At 1 p.m., water polo goes live, also on Pac-12 Digital, and at 2, there's that ASU-GCU clash coming to you on CronkiteSports.com. Once the dust settles, at 4, baseball will lead you into dinner as they wrap up their series on Pac-12 networks. And of course, you get a nice, quiet Sunday for Easter. I'm Michael Barron. Back to the desk.
Happy Passover to you as well, Michael. Happy Easter to everyone at home. Happy Passover. Happy everything.
Happy Friday.
Happy top plays.
Top plays. We got a little bracket system going. We're going to continue it this week in our top plays. Starting off with the 4th play, I'll let Jason take this one.
So this is hockey, my neck of the woods. Dom Catronio on the call as Ryan Belanger, some say Belanger, that's incorrect, scores a game-winning overtime goal against Colorado. Game-winning goals, they give them out pretty much every game in hockey. This is a real game winner. The Belanger coming up big.
And now we're going to the hardwood. Not exactly what you'd expect. This is way back earlier in the season, and we're going to stick around watching this whole rally here, and then watch the ball will go all the way down the court. And Hallie Harker, did you see that? And then did you see that? Macy Gardner with a second hit right there. Sun Devils won the point. And then I'm staying with you for number 2. We'll go back to the first game of this season, ASU baseball. I wish you could hear Dom Catronio's beautiful call of this one. Colby Woodmansey takes out the walk-off home run, and the Sun Devils win their season opener 4-3.
Finally, our winner from our women's bracket, you voted online. It's women's basketball. Here we see Quinn Dornstadter backing down her opponent. Get off of me. And she gets the friendly roll. Those are the kinds of shooter's rolls you get when you have dominant post moves like that. And those are the kind of dominant post moves you get when you have a fantastic name. Brett, you know, I might kind of hit you with one of those when we end the show just to get a little bit more space. Get a little personal space.
I like our personal space, but I think we're pretty good right now.
We're all right. Could be better. But you know what could be better than top plays is if we made some big-time plays of our own, Brett.
Yeah?
This is a segment called The Way It Is. We've been working on it, working pretty thoroughly on it. We've been working hard in the studio on this one. We've got 6 questions. 1-sentence question, 1-sentence answer.
Yep.
I'll ask you one, you answer, you ask me one, I answer. The winner, as chosen by Joey Hardy, our talented director, well, we get to monologue.
Yeah, we get to monologue, I guess. You just said that, so.
I just monologued myself, actually. Ready?
I'm ready.
So you talked water polo earlier in the show and how difficult it would be to play a game of pickup. What about a sport that you haven't played that you actually would be good at, Brett?
Jason, have you seen me stand up? I'd fit right in at Churchill Downs. Yeah, that's right about there. Sign me up as a jockey. Now, Jason, I know you were in favor of Herb Sendek's firing. Who's your guy to replace him?
Easy choice, Steve Lavin, the former St. John's head coach. So he just got replaced by Chris Mullen. That is one step closer to college basketball success and even a 30 for 30 than ASU has ever been in basketball. On the football, Cam Smith, he's out for the year. Gary Chambers, he's hurt. DJ Foster, he's a running back. He's going to be a slot receiver. What is your take on the wide receiver situation?
Once Jalen Strong left, I really just stopped even thinking about the wide receivers because I realized one thing. Mike Bercovici is the quarterback, and all will be well no matter what in Sun Devil Link. ASU baseball has been better than fine. 8 wins in a row now, and they're a top 10 team in the nation. What do you make of that, Jason?
It's nice. It's to be expected. Barry Bond, Reggie Jackson, Dustin Pedroia, this is where expectations should be for ASU baseball. And speaking of high expectations, we've set up high expectations for number 3 ASU versus number 1 GCU. They go at it in Lax tomorrow. Brett, who you got?
The Sun Devils are super impressive, have been for 6 years now, even more than that. But the sheer talent the Lopes possess give them the upper hand. So we'll say, lope 'em, that's it.
Lope 'em.
Jason, now time for your very own pick 'em. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Applebee's or the Outback Steakhouse?
They're both terrible, Brett. They're both horrible. Bloomin' Onion, though, that carries the day for me. So, take me to Outback tonight, Brett.
You might have been winning the segment until you said that.
Horrible.
2 for $20 deal at Apple. We were about to go cash in on that. That was my treat.
I like fried onions. I don't like much else going on in that conversation. I like free meals, though, Brett. I'll take you up on that.
No. It's for our producer, as long as...
Who's our winner?
Who's our winner?
Come on.
That's all of our segment. It goes to Jason Chester, right?
Oh my goodness.
Can't believe this.
That's me. I did theater in high school. It was a children's play. We did some more serious roles as well.
I'm just seeing that. Wow. That's a great picture.
On to a serious topic, however, from that picture. Like many of you watching at home, I've been fiercely critical of Herb Sendek's tenure as ASU men's basketball coach. And like many of you, I felt his performance, it just wasn't up to par, and I said it. I let my thoughts be heard. But it's not just what we say, it's how we say it. See, Herb Sendek, he's a man of integrity and class, something he showed in the letter he released on his firing yesterday. This doesn't really matter when it comes to coaching basketball, granted, but it matters more than anything when it comes to being a human being. So next time you criticize Herb Sendek, Dorsey Tierney Walker, or whoever the 2 new coaches who replaced them are, remember, just criticize the coaching, guys, not the person behind it. With social media and the internet, we're able to show our passion in real time, but let's not be cruel. Let's not call people pathetic, as Brett pointed out on our last The Way It Is, right, Keith? And let's not be embarrassed by what we've said when everything's said and done. You can regret mocking Herb Sendek the person instead of Herb Sendek the coach, but you can't take it back. That's just the way it is.
That was beautiful.
Quite a monologue. The picture of me, you mean?
The picture.
So I was Hansel from Hansel and Gretel. That's a cool character.
Well, now that I know that you're like a theater guy, these monologues, you got to hit on them every single time.
That's the pressure.
Absolutely.
You know who else was good at monologues? Keith Oberman, and you ripped him last time you got one. I'm scared.
You can be good at it, but
I'm scared.
But you've got to have the right intentions as well. It's about the end of the show. We're going to update you real quick, though, on ASU, the golf we just talked about.
The Thunderbird Invitational, we reported one team in second. They're playing it right now. Things actually change. Iowa State, they're in second place. The Sun Devils still lead the pack.
Yeah, Sun Devils down at 10 and under. Well, that about wraps it up for today's show. Brett Deckard alongside Jason Chesler. Thanks for watching on CronkiteSports.com. Of course, tomorrow we got ASU GCU Lax. We told you about that a lot. We got baseball tonight. There's plenty more tomorrow. Stay tuned all weekend long on pack-digital.com and CronkiteSports.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.